Welcome back to Lolita Island. Jeffrey Epstein is a member of some of the most influential think tanks and political organizations in the world. He joined these organizations to make contacts and befriend politicians who he would then invite back to his home and offer these politicians sex with schoolgirls. Jeffrey Epstein is a member of the Mind, Brain and Behavior Committee at Harvard. He's also a member of the Trilateral Commission, whose fellow members back in the 1960s actually covered up the JFK assassination. Epstein is also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and he's a member of the New York Academy of Science, and he's also a member of the Rockefeller University. In actual fact, he sits on the board of the Rockefeller University. He is, of course, also a paedophile and a pimp. And he's been running a fake modeling business, pimping schoolgirls for decades. Lolita Island is a mini-series on the Enigma Channel, which traces what Epstein has been spending his money on. And he was masterminding a grand plan which would artificially inseminate schoolgirls and spread his DNA worldwide. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein bankrolled a group of scientists and even established a mini department at Harvard. And some of these scientists are involved in gene editing and have created a gene drive, which is injected into the eyeball and then replicates itself like a little machine, editing DNA and therefore commanding human cells to transmute and morph into anything that they want. What I'm showing you now is a snippet of an exhibition that was put on in Brasilia, and the artist in question has received money from the Podesta brothers. Now, John Podesta and Tony Podesta, very, very good friends with the Clintons, and the Clintons are very good friends with Jeffrey Epstein. It's no coincidence that the Podestas have been sponsoring these artists whose work is very much to do with the manipulation of genes to create a wholly new satanic Frankenstein world, where the genomes of animals have been melded together with the genome of working class people, leaving this self-appointed pro-Israeli elite of multi-billionaires in charge of this mutant planet. And this is what CRISPR gene drive technology could lead to. In actual fact, I believe that there's been illegal CRISPR gene drive editing in humans already going on. In actual fact, a Chinese scientist admitted in 2018 that he'd actually been editing human cells. Well, this is what's going to happen, folks, if Jeffrey Epstein and his bunch of mad scientists are allowed to rule this planet.
This is the bond, and like most of the works, it embodies the four cornerstones of this exhibition, and they are firstly wonder. There's a lot of wonder in this child. We haven't seen anything like him before. He's familiar but unknown. Then ambiguity. We're not quite sure where he comes from and what he's doing there and why he looks that way. Thirdly, fertility and fecundity. This show is steeped in that. Everywhere you look, there are fruiting bodies and flowers, which are the sexual organs of plants. There are pollinators and eggs and babies and maternity. And fourthly, relationships. This is a presentation of a maternal relationship between a human and a transgenic child.
Between a human and a transgenic child.
Between a human and a transgenic child. This is the couple, and I love the intimacy of this work. We look at them and we understand that we have the technology to create them.
We have the technology to create them.
We have the technology to create them.
Welcome to Epstein Island. Yeah, welcome to Epstein Island, where all your Ted Bundy fantasies can come true. Ooh, the new guests are coming. I'm so excited. You promise you're not gonna tell nobody about this though, right? What happens on Epstein Island stays on Epstein Island. Hallelujah! Our guests are arriving. Let's go greet them. Oh my gosh! That's Prince Andrew, the Duchess of York, Harvey Weinstein, and Elton John. Just another day on Epstein Island. Hey, Jeffrey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Are the girls here at Epstein Island here voluntarily?
Do you want them to be here voluntarily?
Well, did I say yes, but think something else?
Sure. That's what Epstein Island's all about.
I love this place.
Oh, look there. It's Bill Clinton. Say, hey there, Billy boy.
Alright, just took about 6 gas station boner pills. I am ready to party.
Laughing like children, living like lovers, rolling like thunder under the covers.
Hey, Elton, didn't you write that song here? Oh, I can't wait to meet him.
It's gonna be a fun weekend.
And we can do anything we want to, right?
That's correct. Anything you want at Epstein Island.
Alright. Hey, the FBI don't come around here, do they?
Are you kidding? I own the FBI, and so does your wife.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Alright, let's get this party started. These boner pills are kicking in. Welcome everybody to Epstein Island. Enjoy your stay.
Yeah, what happens on Epstein Island stays on Epstein Island. Except for herpes, that'll come back with you.
Oh, Bill, you're terrible. Alright, nobody say the name Alan Dershowitz, okay?
Yes, hello, could somebody point me to where are the 10-year-olds at?
The baby's got blue eyes.
Alright, somebody show me to my room. And there better be some chicks in there.
I say, it's gonna be a bloody good time.
Hey there, sweet chicks. You like cigars?
I'm the madam. I'm off limits.
Oh, that's right, baby. Play hard to get.
Excuse me, but do you guys have a Subway here?
What you looking for? A 6-incher?
Yeah, that'll fill me up.
Well, to be perfectly honest, you look like you can handle a 12-incher.
That means two things.
So, Bill, what happens after you give them the Benadryl and Quaaludes?
Zip, zop, boobity bop.
Wow, I like the sound of that.
Hey, girl, what are you up to?
Oh, man, Chelsea Handler on Epstein Island? Am I dreaming?
Oh, Bill, you're hilarious.
What are you guys doing? Playing the guitar?
Yeah, we're like totally bored. We're just doing stuff.
Well, if you're bored, you both can take turns blowing into my saxophone.
My island is like Disneyland for pedophiles.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Hey, can you make me a promise?
Sure, what is it?
If we ever get caught, can you write my suicide note for me and pretend you never met me?
Sure thing, buddy. I can do that.
Until next time.
Sorry, buddy. I don't think there's gonna be a next time for you.
The Nazi Joseph Mengele experimented on hundreds and hundreds of children. He baked them, he froze them, he injected dye into their eyeballs, and he killed them in a dozen or so laboratories which had been financed by members of the royal family. Joseph Mengele's experiments on children were nothing new. Eugenics and the idea of radically changing and morphing human cells had already been developed into a sick science in the USA, Germany and Britain before the Second World War had ever started. The deep state are still experimenting on millions of working-class children every day, injecting pig manure and exotic cocktails of formaldehyde, mercury, fluoride, and germs and bacteria into school children of working-class and third-world parents every day of the week. Jeffrey Epstein's largest island is called Great St. James, and here we can see that even though there is only one central house and a few outbuildings, there is an extensive installation of Caterpillar gas turbines powering a high-bandwidth data antenna with 2 satellite dishes pointed directly at his smaller island called Little St. James. Both of these islands have underground facilities, and from testimonies by girls recruited by Epstein, it seems that these underground chambers are used for three purposes. 1. They are chambers and they could possibly be used to house sex slaves. Epstein actually bragged about actually owning a 14-year-old girl that he had purchased from a family in Yugoslavia. He used to introduce this girl to his friends as, "Hi, meet my sex slave." The other possibility is that these underground chambers could be used for incinerating children that Epstein has trafficked from the island of Haiti. And thirdly, there is a very high probability that Epstein was building some form of underground laboratory.
Right idea, Mr. Bond.
Jeffrey Epstein was not just a convicted paedophile, he was a pimp. And pimping girls such as Virginia Roberts to princes, tycoons, and billionaires is how Epstein made his money. But until now, there's not been a single documentary investigating what Epstein spent his money on. And it seems that Jeffrey Epstein was a eugenicist. Like so many Judaic billionaires, Epstein had a low opinion of ordinary people, and he thought that he was superior and actually planned to seed the world with his own DNA. The New York Times claimed that Jeffrey Epstein was planning to cryogenically freeze his brain and his penis and donate them to science, as if they were of some incalculable value to the human race. This is the typical megalomania one finds in the protocols of the wise men of Zion, and is classic narcissist mentality gone haywire.
I want the sum of $100 million in our account. Go and think it over, gentlemen. I'm busy. Do you know what gun this is? And did she? This organization does not... Well...
Virginia Roberts is just one of dozens of Epstein's victims who have sworn under oath what they saw when they visited Epstein's islands. Epstein was inviting scientists to his islands and organizing symposiums. One symposium Epstein hosted was dedicated, wait for it, to Doomsday. It's a typical Dr. Evil type symposium. Another symposium was organized by physicist and cosmologist Lawrence Krauss, who's a foundation professor of the School of Earth and Space Exploration, and he's also the inaugural director of the Origins Initiative at Arizona State University.
Well, I try not to make predictions about anything less than 2 trillion years from now, for good reasons. One is that no one will be able to know if I'm wrong.
O'clock tonight, a prominent scientist and ASU professor accused of sexual misconduct is now on paid leave. We first told you about Professor Lawrence Krauss a couple of weeks ago. BuzzFeed reached out to the university telling them they had a number of anonymous complaints about alleged inappropriate behavior. Well, that article prompted the school to investigate. So they have put Professor Krause on paid leave. They prohibited him from being on campus until their review is complete. We have ASU's full statement right now on our website.
This symposium of mostly Jewish scientists were redefining gravity. And there were Nobel laureates present. There were particle physicists, and other scientists included David Gross and Frank Wilczek. Jeffrey Epstein also funded scientists investigating how to hack the human brain, how to make people live longer, and research into the quantum electrical charges inside the human brain. It is so obvious that Jeffrey Epstein was pursuing the dream all Dr. Evil James Bond baddies have, that it's not a joke any longer. CRISPR gene drives are little biogenetic machines which are injected into people. They search out the DNA inside every human cell. They then snip it and then insert new DNA into the gap. For example, a CRISPR gene drive can be pre-programmed to snip out the part of the genome which tells cells to form eyeballs. And this means that all babies born to people who have been injected with the CRISPR gene drive will have no eyes. Those babies will be blind. The genome will be passed on through those babies forever, meaning that you have in actual fact created a new species of blind humans. CRISPR gene drive technology is extremely dangerous, and it's exactly what many of the scientists which Jeffrey Epstein invited back to his islands were involved with.
Then, last January, Anthony James got an email from a biologist named Ethan Beer. Beer said that he and his grad student, Valentino Gantz, had stumbled on a tool that could not only guarantee that a particular genetic trait would be inherited, but that would spread incredibly quickly. If they were right, it would basically solve the problem that James had been working on for 20 years. As a test, they engineered 2 mosquitoes to carry the anti-malaria gene and also this new tool, a gene drive, which I'll explain in a minute. Finally, they set it up so that any mosquitoes that inherited the anti-malaria gene wouldn't have the usual white eyes, but would instead have red eyes. Red eyes. So they took their 2 anti-malarial red-eyed mosquitoes, put them in a box with 30 ordinary white-eyed ones, and let them breed. In 2 generations, those had produced 3,800 grandchildren. That is not the surprising part. This is the surprising part. Given that you started with just 2 red-eyed mosquitoes and 30 white-eyed ones, you'd expect mostly white-eyed descendants. Instead, when James opened the box, all 3,800 mosquitoes had red eyes. When I asked Ethan Beer about this moment, he became so excited that he was literally shouting into the phone. That's because getting only red-eyed mosquitoes violates a rule that is the absolute cornerstone of biology, Mendelian genetics. I'll keep this quick, but Mendelian genetics says that when a male and female mate, their baby inherits half of its DNA from each parent. So if our original mosquito was AA and our new mosquito was AB, where B is the anti-malaria gene, the babies should come out in 4 permutations: AA, AB, AA, BA. Instead, with a new gene drive, they all came out AB. Biologically, that shouldn't even be possible.
Biologically, that shouldn't even be possible. Biologically, that shouldn't even be possible.
What I want to show you is some of the so-called art from artists which were funded by Tony Podesta and John Podesta. Now remember, Epstein's very close friends with the Clintons. The Podestas also very close friends with the Clintons. And what we see in the art collection of Tony Podesta is a lot of very, very strange mutated humans where their genes have been mixed with animals. And this is part of the satanic, Judaic, Babylonian agenda which has been running on this planet for centuries. And they are now moving towards injecting people secretly, infesting our DNA with their own sick CRISPR gene drives.